Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. Hello, thank you for coming. We are coming to you from Blue Mountain Temple in Rosemead, California. This is our second Dharma talk of the Fochi. First of all, it's nice to see you all here. Today at lunch, we ate lunch here at Blue Mountain Temple, and it's so nice to be back. I've been back here working from Blue Mountain Temple for quite a while, and so it's a little bit smaller than the other temple. But what's different is that I came back here for lunch this morning, and it was crowded, and there's this sense of warmness in a small place, with sense of familiarity for a lot of people, for me personally as well. So I'm very pleased to be back. I'm very happy we all have a chance to be here together and do this Fochi here. All right, many of you have come from afar, so we're glad to have you. And in particular, there is a video lady that I met 2-3 years ago in Hawaii. 2 years ago in Hawaii, and she does a lot of videos and posts them on the Facebook, Vietnamese Facebook, and she brought her friends here as well, and those of you who are familiar with us, our Fochi, our style of practice is a very special form of practice where we a little bit more intensive than the typical similar practices. It's by design. When we participate in this Fochi here, this Buddha Recitation Week, you're supposed to get tired. It's a good thing when you get tired, especially the first couple of days. Because we go from 4 in the morning, morning ceremony, until like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So it's basically a 18-hour day. And so by design, it's tiring and it's difficult to keep up with. However, do not be alarmed because, by the way, that's our normal schedule. We do the morning ceremony at 4 ourselves, and normally don't go to bed until 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it's like a small vacation for us. But when you come here for the first time, you might be shocked by the lengthy schedule and the small breaks in between, and you get tired. Don't be alarmed. It's a good thing. If you're tired, please get some rest and try to keep up as much as you can. And once you're better rested, come back and keep on fighting. It's part of the practice. All right. Any other administrative details we need to go into? Announcements? Okay, very good. Tonight, as usual, after the evening ceremony, we have our Dharma talk. So last night we started from San Jose, and I had to cut it short. It's like 2 hours of Dharma talk when it's scheduled for an hour only. And so tonight, are there still any open questions that we weren't able to, that you weren't able to ask or we weren't able to address at all? Questions or comments? No? Okay. Then we can go into the main attraction, and that is when we practice, when we engage in our spiritual practices, we're very conservative. We follow the teachings and research the teachings of the patriarchs. Chinese, the patriarchs is a Mahayana tradition where you have these wise and sagely teachers. They are sagely men, they're enlightened monks and nuns who were certified by their previous patriarchs. So that these sagely people are very wise, and therefore, when you learn from them, you are assured that we're learning the proper thing, and we're learning what is called the proper Dharma. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're practicing the proper Dharma. Okay, the proper Dharma is the Buddhist jargon for something that represents the Buddha's proper teachings. And what happened is when Shakyamuni Buddha came to our world about 3,000 years ago and taught in the human realm, the human world, he helped a lot of people become enlightened. And after he passed away, we wanted to make sure that his teaching, the proper teaching, was propagated, was continued. So what he did is he designated the patriarchs, Buddhist patriarchs. Okay, and so these patriarchs, the first patriarch in Mahayana was Venerable Mahakashyapa, and later, after Mahakashyapa passed away, he designated the second patriarch as Venerable Ananda, okay, and so forth. So in this era, in the Dharma ending age era, meaning that this is the time period, is about this time period that Mahayana Buddhism will shrink and start disappearing. So that's why this Dharma ending age is very difficult to discern what's proper, the authentic Buddhist teaching versus versus others. In our temples, we only practice one type of Buddhism. We only follow and study the Buddhist patriarchs to the exclusion of everyone else. Okay, because to me, I would not waste my time learning from the non-patriarchs teachers. Because myself, when I first started, the first several years of my career as a Buddhist monk, my late Chinese teacher passed away. He died 4 months after he allowed me to become a novice monk. And I was planning on having 25 years with him. But he died very quickly. And so I was left without a teacher for several years. And so I looked around and studied from a lot of monks and nuns because I couldn't tell one from the other. And eventually, so I studied, I listened to, I watched videos from Japanese teachers, Tibetan teachers, and so forth. And over the years, I realized that I didn't like their teachings at all, except for some heavy-duty Mahayana patriarchs. And I realized that a lot of my years were spent on studying the wrong stuff. For several years, I studied the wrong stuff, along with my master's teachings. And so towards the 7th or 8th year, I started doing garbage dumping, meaning I would meditate. I used to meditate every day, and then towards the 7th year or so, I started having to, since I meditated the entire day, every day, so every day, all these old information that I gathered over the years started rising to my mind again, came back from my memory. So I sat there for about a year dumping a lot of garbage, okay, what I could term garbage. And so I realized that much of my time when I first started was wasted on studying the wrong stuff, okay? Because it's very damaging to me personally. Whatever you record, whatever you read, whatever you listen to is actually recorded in your memory, okay? And will stay there until it's utilized. So if you read the wrong information, you learn the wrong information, it stays in your consciousness and will arise until you do something with it. And it's very dangerous because those are the wrong reference points. So I was lucky enough to be able to sit for 1 year, about 1 year, sitting there and looking at my old information, my old Buddhist information, and dump it, okay? Throw it away. And so after that, when my late Chinese teacher told me to start teaching, I decided to start with his teachings to make sure it's a proper teaching, and only share with you, investigate with you the great patriarchs, teachers. Okay. All right. So that's why when we do these spiritual practices, we want to make sure we study from the greatest Buddhist teachers first, and then when we run out of materials, then we go to the next layer, next levels of teachers. All right. So that's why during the Foji here, we would like to study the Pure Land Patriarchs' teachings. Master YongHua, my late Chinese teacher, is a very advanced Mahayana teacher. He's a very high-level Bodhisattva. Okay, he's no Buddha, but he's extremely high level, and that's why. When you study, I found that he's one of the best and most advanced teachers that's available of recent memory, and that's why. And he left behind him a mountain of teachings that's unfortunately only shared with us sporadically, sparsely shared. In fact, his temple, they have a library in that his main flagship temple, where they have a mountain of cassette tapes that he recorded when he taught in the United States for around 40, 50 years. Okay? And they have a whole mountain there that's not shared. Okay? What we have is a very, very small portion of it. Okay? And that alone is so invaluable. All right? So that's what we do. What you see in the screen are the transcriptions of what he said in Chinese, and so we listen to that. When you listen to his Chinese, those of you who don't speak Chinese, it's still a good thing, because listening, even though you don't need to understand it, generates tremendous quality Dharma seeds in your mind that will eventually in the future find a way to sprout and help you become enlightened, like he was, like he is. These teachers, these great teachers, everything they say, everything they do is to help us become enlightened. They help us become as high, if not higher, than them. I come from the Wei-Yang tradition, the Chan tradition, where my teachers are patriarch. I'm no patriarch, by the way. That's why we study patriarchs instead of studying my teachings, because I have none. I really have nothing to teach you. All I can do is share with you my understanding of their teachings. All right, and so that's what we do here. YouTube has a question.
Christopher asks, Master, you said that we can do just one day of Fochi, but need to dedicate 24 hours to it. But the daily Fochi schedule is just 18 hours. Do we need to stay for the full 24 hours?
All right. Let's see. First of all, the sound here is not very. Can you increase the sound a little bit? Because Derek is becoming more relaxed. He's improving. That's very good. What did you eat today for lunch and dinner? Okay. You can tell a person by the way they talk, by the way they walk, and Derek has been helping out with these sessions, these Dharma study sessions. He's in Ottawa. Is that Ottawa, right? Our cousin up north in North America. And he's so relaxed today. He just woke up or what? Why are you so relaxed today?
I don't know.
Okay.
Normally relaxed.
Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Christopher asked, it's 24 hours, and I asked of you that these Fochi are actually, these Buddha Recitation Weeks are very special events where we follow the traditional practice invented by the patriarchs, Pure Land patriarchs, to help teach you, train you how to recite the Buddha's name. Okay? And not only just the method itself, but what is very critical in this process is the environment. Not only the schedule. The schedule is designed to be heavy. It's supposed to be tiring. And so the schedule is designed, it's by design is very demanding. But if you follow it, it builds up your physical stamina. Okay. But more importantly, in addition to the schedule, you also need a proper environment. Okay, imagine you will that you try to to sit, meditate, or recite Buddha's name in the midst of a fish market. You there exposed to the smell of the fish, of the noise, of the constant movement, interruptions, and you cannot possibly practice properly. So what happened is that these special cheese is Chinese for a week or 7 days, are designed to provide you with the environment and the protection for you to be able to do your practice with minimal interruptions. Meaning during this time here, we provide protection for you, like the police. We provide guidance for you so that you are doing it properly. We'll provide counseling for you in that some of you have some questions or are doing some concerns. We're here to address those. And that's why not just the schedule, but also the manpower behind it is also very important. And that's why last night I recommended that you should try to, because I know how busy you are. But however, we have in the U.S. we have a long day weekend here. We have Memorial a long weekend here. So we have a Memorial Day tomorrow, Monday, and so that's why, if possible, if you can, try to do it by one day or multiples of days. Okay, preferably 7 days. But it's not possible for many of you. You have commitments, you have to work, you have other plans already. So I recommended that you should try to do cycles of 24 hours. Okay, that's because that's based on the fact that our schedule puts your body through a rigorous workout for 24 hours, and you rest at night, and you will go again the next day, and so forth, the next day, okay? And that builds up, okay? So that's why the question is, can I do it, and then for the non-event, can I go away from it? Yeah, you can, if that's what you want. However, it's ideally, you want to stick around the area, because this is why we have the temples, and we try to accommodate those of you who come from far, and we have some from other countries who are here to participate in this thing. So the long answer is preferably do the 24 hours at the temple. Okay. Because what happens is that when you're at the temple, you'll be shielded from the interruptions, the influences from from the TVs, from your families, from the daily worries. The idea is to walk into a different world, different environment, where only thing you do is follow the schedule and learn how this practice, to learn to increase the concentration. And that's the baseline of it. You follow this, this process here. Your being tired is actually very conducive to your increasing your concentration level. It's a very badly kept secret in my world, why our schedule is so long. Why do we typically, our days are like 18-hour, 16-hour days every day, whether there's a special practice or not. Our typical day for my monks and nuns are about 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours typically for us, okay? By design, it is so demanding that you are tired. We are all tired every day, and that's why some of us find the time to sleep during a lecture, or any time we have a chance and no one is paying attention, we doze off. And you see, and no matter how old you are, we all follow the same schedule. There's no special considerations for old people or young people, okay? And so by design, it is so tiring, and that tiring there is the secret behind why you improve. When you're tired, that's when it's easier for you to increase the concentration. What happens, if you will, if you're an athlete, you push yourself physically every day, okay? And by pushing yourself like that, you are so exhausted, you recover, and you continue to exhaust yourself again. And in doing that, you naturally not only increase your stamina, but actually these athletes, because of that natural process of getting tired, physically tired every day, and then finding the mental strength to not quit. That special secret right there is what helps the athlete increase their concentration, okay, naturally, okay. However, in our world, our interest is not about increasing your physical skills or physical stamina. Our our process, our training process is more geared towards building your mental stamina and your concentration power. And that's why you look at, if you look at our schedule, it's very tiring, very long days. And that's by design, okay? And so the typical practices at the religious institution is that when you're tired, rest. In our world, when you're tired, keep going, don't rest until you're supposed to rest, okay? It's by design, okay? And because of that, our people, they build the concentration power a lot quickly, and they reach high level of concentration. All right? So the answer to Christopher is just do it for 24-hour cycles. Okay, if you commit to it, and the 24-hour cycles at the temple at a place like this is designed to make you exhausted, but while giving you protection, minimizing the interruptions from you. Okay, bear pause. Still, you haven't figured out how to do the audio thing? You know how much we spend money on the audio thing? Oh, good Lord. Okay, email us, I guess. Juby, what happened?
안녕하세요.
Yeah? Go ahead.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Thank you, Lord.
다름이 아니고요. 어제 그 정토 본문을 들었는데 그 나무아미타불 연불하는 걸 어제 배웠는데요. 대비수를 하면서 대비수를 계속 하니까 계속 대비수가 입에서 계속 이렇게 마음속에서 계속 생겨 계속 하게 되는데 그럼 아미타불로 지금 그렇게 바꿔서 불칠 기간이 하는 건 어떤지 싶었어요.
Hi, Master. Hi, Master.
여보세요?
Yeah, we have, now it's outside.
우리의 문제가 있습니다.
You wouldn't believe it. When we first started, like 15 years ago, we were poor. We were poor, very, very poor. Now we're not as poor, but we're still poor. But we're very poor. And then, so for us, every single dollar counted. And we started by buying a lot of equipment, investing in a lot of equipment. It only gets worse. And still, they're not working.
Hello. Hi, Master. Yesterday, we learned about how to recite the Buddha name. But because I used to reciting Great Compassion Mantra, I kept thinking about Great Compassion Mantra. So should I switch to reciting Emitofuo?
Okay, I have the same problem. When I was a novice at Master YongHua's temples about 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, we specialize in practicing the Great Compassion Mantra and the hands and eyes. And every day, my schedule was to recite the Great Compassion Mantra 300 times a day. Okay? It's because I asked my my novices, the one that I was supervising. I was supervising about 6 or 7 young novices between 12 to, around 12 years old. And so I asked them to recite the Great Compassion Mantra 300 times a day. Only a couple of them could do that. Because of that, because 2 of them could do that, 1 of them actually could do that, I had to do it myself. So what happened is you spend a lot of time reciting this mantra. Most of my students back then gave up. It probably could do 100, but not 300. It's just too time consuming. But this particular boy here, Go-an, was able to do that in about, recite 300 times the mantra in about half an hour to 45 minutes. So every day, he walks around with his beads, this long string of beads, and he walks around and recite, and then he goes like this, and he goes like this, and he goes like this. You see, this is the original how I taught you to recite using tactile. Okay, so he was able to do it in about 35, 37 minutes, 300 times a day. Okay, and then the incentive is he could put in 300 times a day, then he can do anything else he wants the rest of the day. Okay, so if you do that, then it runs in your head naturally, very, very fast. And this is why when we teach you during this Buddha recitation week to recite the Buddha's name every day, because eventually the Buddha's name can go by itself. You hang around long enough, eventually, you follow the schedule, eventually, you can recite the Buddha's name naturally, okay? It goes in the back of your mind. Anyone has that experience? That's what she's talking about. If she recites this Great Compassion Mantra, okay, for so long, it becomes a natural thing for her. The mind gets into a groove, if you will. And that's now when she switches to reciting Buddha's name, it naturally gets back to its own track of reciting the mantra. So the question is, should I switch or should I not switch? The answer is absolutely switch. Don't, you learn to switch to the Buddha's name, but when you discover yourself drifting to the mantra, it's normal. Okay? Go back to reciting the Buddha's name, because you're acquiring another skill set. You're developing another skill set. You're developing other skills in particular. In particular, recitation skills will help you with any form of recitation. Okay? So in other words, I dare to tell her in Korea in particular that just follow the schedule for the Fochi over there. Eventually, she will improve, and when she goes back to reciting her Great Compassion Mantra, she will recite it even better. All right? So stick with the reciting in Buddha's name is the answer. All right? Don't worry about it flipping back and forth. That's a natural thing. All right, you too.
Master, how can those of us at home who cannot go to the temple participate in the qi?
Well, the whole purpose of this Chanchi here is we, personally, not just me, but our staff here, the monks and nuns, and our lay people, they dedicate their time to work and provide food, provide toilet paper, and sweep the yard for you in order for you to be able to focus on reciting the Buddha's name only or meditate only. Okay, so that you are free from mundane tasks. That's one. Number two is that the environment. In my early days, I didn't have a place to teach, so I would go to rent places, especially recreation halls in the U.S. I would go to a recreational center in a city and rent it for a few hours to teach meditation, to lecture. And that's all we have. So we would sign a contract. Starting in 2006, I signed a contract with a certain city to rent a place for a few months to teach meditation for 2 hours, or to lecture on the 42 hands and eyes, the 42 section sutra for 2 hours, 3 hours, once a week. And now, finally, we have our own places, and it turns out there's a world of difference. Every time I go anywhere, whether I went to another temple or a non-temple, okay, the energy level is totally different from ours. Today, we have a lot of young children. If they could talk, they're very sensitive, by the way, the young children. If they could talk, they could express themselves. They can tell you they feel more relaxed, they feel differently, they feel more energized. Okay? It's because this is our territory, our domain, if you will, meaning that for us to have this place here, we have what is called Dharma protectors, meaning basically my bodyguards. Okay? That's the way it is. Okay? We need to have bodyguards. I need bodyguards where they will protect the way place so that the troublemakers are kept at bay. They may not enter our domain, our territory, unless they behave. If they misbehave, they get punished, they get evicted. All right? So that's why the location really matters, and it takes a while before that happens. I used to go and rent those places for a couple of hours, so I had to go to there actually before that, and brought in my bodyguards, okay, and kick them out. So when I needed to teach for 2 hours, I would rent it for 3-4 hours. So 1 hour ahead of time, 1 hour after to clean up. Okay, and so during the hour I would come early and basically took over the areas I rented. Okay, and then after we're done, I have to move our people, so our bodyguards, as well, our guards as well, and that's fine. But it's not the same as when we have our places here. Actually, this is permanent, okay? And where, to tell you the truth, okay, our people, our soldiers, our protectors, what we call Dharma protectors, are actually spread out throughout the neighborhood. They take over naturally, okay? So they push away naturally drug dealers. Our neighborhood used to be very, very bad, Blue Mountain Temple. They used to sell drugs right here on this side of Bailey every night, okay? It was so bad, and it's very dangerous. And we came here naturally with our protectors. We guard ourselves, and then we spread out naturally. And eventually, these people were driven away. Okay, so if you practice at home, that kind of protection is not available to you. Okay, when you're at home, you have your challenges at home. If just like we had. When I first moved to this, came to this temple 15 years ago, the drug dealers were still selling at night on Bailey Street here, right next to us, about 15 feet away. Okay, when it comes dark, they would sell drugs. At noontime, they would have a white van, and they would sell to the customers. And now, luckily, they're gone. Okay, so because we basically push them away naturally, we take over naturally the whole neighborhood. Okay, so it's like it's in a way our protectors emit light, if you will. So the drug dealers they don't like the light, so they move away naturally. All right. So when you're at home, there's not much we can do. You have your own environment that we can't reach out to you at all because we're not allowed. Okay, it's not our territory. Okay, so we can't. So it's not the same. That's why I urge you, if possible, come to our cheese. Physically come, because it makes a huge difference. Okay, when you hear your troublemakers dare misbehave, we will punish them. Okay, I have no problem with that. It happened recently. We opened a way place up north last year or so, and your troublemakers, the troublemakers came with our people, and we talked to them politely, and after a while, and they said they refused to listen. So we started teaching them a lesson. Okay, this is our territory. You cannot come in and misbehave. That's not acceptable. Okay, and so by all means, if you practice, try to come to our place when possible. Okay. If you're at home, what can you do? If you're at home, then what I would do is try to create a boundary where you can practice. Okay, if you recite, for example, mantra, recite the Buddha's name, do ceremonies there, have an altar at home where you have Buddha statues. You have that what you call a pure area where you will have natural protectors yourself. Okay? However, do not assume that it's the same, because they are my Dharma protectors versus your Dharma protectors. It's not the same kind of protection. Okay? The protection for, if you will, a general is slightly different from a protection for a captain. All right? So at home, it's not much. You try your best you can. Create an altar, create an area, and to practice. But I be honest with you, it's not the same. You can never assume it's the same thing, because I know it's not. And you will find out it's not, because like ask your children, you can talk, they tell you that somehow they feel more relaxed, somehow their mind is more at ease, okay, and so forth. Physically, you have to be there. Okay? Case in point, we have properties here. We have another house close by here, and the house is in a residential neighborhood, and so there are people who live there. So even the energy in the house is there. It's not the same as the energy in the temple, because in the temple we have more intensive practices. So our protection are much higher. All right. So try to do the best you can. If you pipe in, like right now, you're getting some help as well. Okay, but you cannot assume it's the same thing. Okay, do the best you can and try to physically come. This is why we're doing this. We're doing this in order to give you the umbrella, if you will, okay? So that you're under the umbrella, what is called in Buddhism a white canopy, okay? That's from those of you who practice the Dharma, and that's one of the things we do. The canopy, umbrella over this area so that you get protection, okay? Number two, what also you're getting is physical contact. We look at you. I listen to your voice. The guy in Ontario, Ottawa, I could tell that his mind is more relaxed tonight than last week, okay, for example. So what happened is I look at you, we come in contact with you, and we help make adjustments for you, okay? That's why it's well worth it. The experienced people, they will come very far repeatedly because it's an investment of time for them that pays off handsomely quite often, okay? If you didn't have the proper guidance, you could be doing your practice for years or decades and you'll still be stuck, okay? Case in point, the gentleman here in row number 5, okay? He's a Pure Land practitioner. He recites a Buddha's name. That's what he does, hoping to go to the Pure Land, right next to Sean, okay? And he occasionally came to our temple, and we talked to him a little bit, okay? And on Sunday mornings, but since for years, I think like he came to Lu Mountain Temple, right? I think so. And then he did his practices. We did ours, and that's fine. You're free to do as you wish. But since he started coming regularly, the past year or so, or past several months ago, so because the other temples were closed, and we only open to our regulars, okay. And it's only a small group comes anyway, and so he's been coming regularly, and you can and I could tell that he's improving. He improved. Okay. Yeah. So the fact that you are physically with us, you will find out, if you're serious in your practice, you find out that the people around you are for sure better than you, guaranteed. I can't think of anywhere else where you will find this group of people with the skill level from low to high level, and in particular, my monks and nuns are being trained to become teachers themselves. Okay, so the personal contact would be very helpful for you. Okay, and that's what's not available when you're not here. All right. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Master. I'd just like to say, from personal experience and from appreciation, first of all, thank you for having us back to Lu Mountain Temple. I haven't been here for a number of years, and it brings back a lot of good, warm memories. So thank you, Master. A lot of appreciation. And one of my first memories was coming in here as an ignorant person who knew nothing about meditation. And I sat right over there in one of your Saturday morning meditation lectures. And I remember the old monk sitting behind me. And I didn't know him, and I didn't know anyone here, but I just remember specifically feeling that he was helping me. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I got a distinct feeling of that, and I was able to sit I was able to sit, which I couldn't hardly do at all at that point. So I just want to offer that experience for people, encourage them to physically come to the temple and experience it for themselves, because it's different for everyone, but that was my experience very early on. Thank you, Master.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with us. That's what happens naturally. These people that they are here together with you actually are helping you. My Chinese master put it as, when you get a group of people get together like this, your individual wisdom light is shining upon the others. So in this big gathering, they call it Great Assembly, we share our light of wisdom. So we benefit from others' light of wisdom. Okay. It doesn't matter who you are. The light will shine upon us, and each and every one of you, and will help illuminate the dark corners of your mind, dark corners of your heart. Okay, and that's why. Let me remind you, is very beneficial to bring children here. You see, there is someone's baby who's been making a lot of noises nonstop. Okay, it's creating offenses, but we tolerate it because it's good for the baby. Okay, because they benefit from our lights. Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir. Oh, you back already? Purple.
So, even though I'm not Buddhist, I also benefited from his teachings, and I think it's pretty good.
We have not given up yet. No, it's not about Buddhist or Catholic, it doesn't matter. We are speaking the same common language, the language of kindness and compassion. Okay, and that's what we do. We share the good things we have and try to eliminate the negative things in our heart, the darkness in our hearts, if you will. That's what this practice is about. And that's why I stress to you, your children, when they hear, they may not understand much, but they benefit from the light, and they benefit from being close to people who are trying to learn to be good, to be kind-hearted, instead of trying to take advantage of others. Okay, and they will not find that kind of attitude in most places. So they will, if you will, they're exposed to a certain kind of behavior, certain kind of mindset. That's stress is kindness, stress is compassion, instead of the big fish eating small fish. Okay, out there. Okay, so personally, I wish I had that kind of reference. I didn't have that when I was younger in my prior life, until when I was 39 and I was exposed to my teachers, my Master YongHua's temples and his Dharma. That's what started my change. Okay, from a very nasty person to someone else. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Yes.
Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Con kính thưa Thầy, cách đây 2 năm con được nhân duyên tu cái khóa tu của Thầy bên Hawaii. Bây giờ có được cái nhân duyên nữa con qua bên này. Con không có biết là cái khóa tu của Thầy mở, nhưng mà nhờ sư cô gửi những cái bài pháp của Thầy cho con nghe, cho nên con mới được tu được một ngày hôm nay. Con xin rất là tri ân cảm ơn Thầy. Chờ cô dịch hả? Chờ cô dịch hả? Nói hết rồi con mới dịch đi.
Master, I would like to thank for the opportunity to come here and participate. I'm very happy.
Dạ. Cách đây 2 năm con được dự khóa tu của Thầy ở bên Hawaii. Những cái kỷ niệm đó con vẫn còn lưu lại. Và hôm nay nhờ cô Hiền Nhẫn gửi những cái bài giảng của Thầy cho con nghe, và con mới được biết là Thầy có khóa tu. Con rất là vui mừng khi được dự khóa tu hôm nay. Con cũng xin tri ân cảm ơn của Thầy. Con có một cái câu hỏi rằng có bao giờ Thầy suy nghĩ là sẽ trở về Hawaii mở lại khóa tu nữa hay không? A Di Đà Phật.
I met Master 2 years ago in Hawaii. I still keep a lot of memory, and then I was happy that Venerable Xianren sent me Master's lecture, and because of that, I know that you have the Foji organized here. So that's why I can participate. I am very grateful. But I have a question. Have you ever thought about go to Hawaii and organize another cheese over there?
Okay, of course. We're glad you're here. Please sit down. Don't have to stand up. Okay, don't get tired. Save yourself for the practice. Okay. I'm very pleased to see you again, and I still remember you. You were very. We enjoyed your hospitality, and I appreciate you were taking us around the island in Hawaii after the practice. We saw her like 2 years ago at Master Nghiêm Tham's temple, I think. Thầy Nghiêm Tham, right? And were you there, Heidi? Okay, you were there. And so we really have a good time. I remember the hospitality, and it's a very special temple. I would recommend you go there and take a look for yourself as well if you have a chance to go to Hawaii. I'm warning you though, it has lots of mosquitoes. So be prepared. But it's beautiful, beautiful scenery. It's gorgeous. Okay. And it's enjoyable, very enjoyable for me personally, because it's nice to be able to go to a temple where they actually emphasize the practice. The abbot and the senior monks there, they actually they stress practice, spiritual practice. So we like that. It's very hard nowadays to find temples where people put more focus on the spiritual practice, on refining the goodness of their heart, instead, and developing skills, instead of just trying to build temples and get more famous and make more, get more donations. So it's very enjoyable for us personally, okay, to find such temples. They're rare indeed. So yes, we'd love to come back, but having said that, my schedule is getting worse and worse. We are very busy trying to work on the schedule. In particular, for example, during 4G here, I started teaching you more, giving more details on how to recite the Buddha's name, because I'm told to do so. I've been holding back the last 15 years because I didn't feel that you were ready, that I was ready to take chances before I established myself as establish our credibility. Pure Land is a form of practice where it's primarily based on faith. Okay, and unless you have adequate faith, you will not do well in Pure Land Dharma door at all. Okay. However, on the flip side of it is that if you put faith in the wrong teacher, okay, you will not make progress either. So that's why when I started teaching 15 years ago, my message to you is very simple. Do whatever you do, but if the process is appropriate, you should be making progress. You're not making progress, change venues. Okay? So that's why we've been quietly teaching our people, training our people the last 15 years. And 2 years ago, one of my students knew Master Nghiêm Thầm in Hawaii, so he said, I'd like you to come here because these monks are special. And so we went there, and we were very happy. I'm happy we went there. But my schedule, unfortunately, is getting worse and worse. We don't know. I can commit to it. I was planning on going to Korea, South Korea. Is it South or North? Okay, South. Okay, sorry. I don't want to go in the wrong place, land the wrong airport. And this pandemic thing happened, and actually we were planning on doing a similar thing like here in Korea in around April, but we couldn't because the country is shut down. Okay, this year. So we are still waiting for our to implement our programs. So, short answer, I'd love to, but I would hopefully in the future would like to come back to Hawaii as well. Okay, if they would have me. Anything else? Does she have anything else she'd like to bring up, or she only wants us to go to Hawaii again? How come there's more people here than at Way Mountain Temple? What happened? Should we stay here and not bother going back to Way Mountain Temple? There's so many more of you here. Go Yin, spy number 1, you have anything you'd like to say? Yellow. White. Today she's tired. She had nothing to say. Were you even here at all? You only came here to the Dharma talk.
Không, tuần này sức khỏe không mấy gì được, dồi dào mệt quá chừng thầy ơi. Nhờ thầy phải giúp nữa.
My health condition is not very good lately, so probably I will need your help.
Okay, anyone else? Orange.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Sangha. We came, Apple, Emily, and I, we stayed in the room. It was vacated. And that was Venerable Shensun's room. So we thankful. We are very grateful. Actually, the Sangha team, your team made such sacrifice for the people, for us to practice. Thank you.
Why? You must have connections. Wow, impressive. Okay. Okay, we're glad to have you. Anything else? Yes.
Master, it's so wonderful to be back in Lu Mountain Temple. I feel like it's 10 years ago. It's lots of fun. And I'm grateful that we're here.
Actually, new faces. Think about it. Actually, it's new faces.
It's wonderful.
Mostly new faces. At least half are new.
Yeah, it's fabulous. And I'm so happy we can share our special Buddha Hall with all the Buddhas here. And feels very warm and supportive, so thank you so much. I have a question in regards to a good friend of mine who was, or still is probably, following the Dalai Lama. I bring him up now and then because last time I talked to him, he told me, well, you know, I've been going to this Vietnamese temple, but they only speak in Vietnamese. And I said, well, you know, in my temple, we speak in English. Our master speaks in English, which really tantalized him. And that was the end of it. I never heard from him again. Is there anything I can do to help him?
Let it be. Let it be. Don't worry, you know, all we can do is make ourselves available. So that's why I remember when we first started 15 years ago, money was tight and we have to think about things. So for us to, for example, I remember someone volunteered to get some sort of online resource like storage space for our videos and so forth, and we had that vision. We had that. I wanted to make them available, okay, so that people. I remember what I told them. I said, the Buddhist Dharma that you find online is like a jungle. You cannot tell one from the other, and so let's go to the jungle ourselves. Let's bombard them with more videos of what the proper Dharma of the authentic teachers, what they're supposed to be like. Okay, because you cannot tell what is a proper and what is not proper. So we keep on bombarding them, and that's what we do. Make it available and let them pick and choose and at their own time and space. Okay? Don't worry about it. The same thing with your children. We're not trying to convert your children and turn them into Buddhists, although we secretly love to have them as Buddhists. But it's not about head counts or how many Buddhist disciples we have or how many more people watch our video. It's just making it available, and you pick and choose. You choose whatever works for you, okay? And especially in this modern times here, people are finding themselves to be more and more pressed for time. And so our message to you is that we make the Dharma available so that you can choose to try one of these. If it works for you, okay, then stick with it. It doesn't work for you, move on. That's all. And it's from practical experience. Because when you follow the instruction, when you take the time and make the investment in coming and devote your time for one day, 24-hour cycles, or preferably 7 days like this, you will improve. You will experience changes in your heart. To me, improvement in a long haul I watch our students in the long haul. They become kinder. That's what matters to me personally. Okay? So it's okay. And it turns out it's very difficult to come to the temple. You will have all kinds of obstructions. This lady here from North Korea, South? Excuse me. Okay? Before she was planning on coming to this particular summer cheese here, the summer retreats here, and actually she experienced a lot of obstructions that compel her to stay away from our way place in South Korea even. Okay? And isolate herself from everyone, as a matter of fact. Okay? And it was getting worse and worse and worse. As she came, it was nearer for her to come to the U.S. She became more distant, and to the point where it got so bad that I have to ask the abbot in Korea to intervene on her behalf. Without that, she'd probably be gone. Okay? So it's very difficult. It's not that easy for them to be exposed to it. And that's why my attitude is flush them with videos and stuff. And eventually, when they try everything else and they're so exhausted and they're so disappointed that one day they look on this video here and they said, how can I pray? How can I pray to this great compassion Bodhisattva, Wanyin Bodhisattva, with sincerity? And because of Peter's brilliant genius, that we had this Dharma glimpse, that's about, 15 seconds? 30 seconds? And she came to us and said, I saw your Dharma glimpse on how to pray with sincerity. Okay? What else can you do to help us out? Okay? In my time, my times of need. Okay? They'll come eventually when it's time. If they don't come, well, tough luck. That's life. So what? Q&A.
Hello, Master. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Master, first time I hear you singing. Oh, no, wrong. Are you chanting? I have two questions. One question is, have you practiced singing before? Second is, can we have a request next time Master stay in Go Forest longer? Because it's the first time I hear you chanting. First time, yeah, everybody here say first time Master here do the chanting is not enough.
It's not enough? That's plenty for me. I don't chant that much anymore. Why do you think I train my students so that they can chant on my behalf? In fact, my friend, the chanting my own students, you'd be hard pressed to be able to find the chanting as strong, as good as theirs, let alone mine. Okay, so that's by design. I would not put them out there, whether it's in Korea or San Jose, unless they are strong enough to be able to help you. Okay, this lady here cannot come unless she got help from the abbot in Korea. So he's trained to do those things, okay, in order to assist you. Okay, we do what we can. If I chant, then I cannot do the other work. While you are chanting, I have to work. Okay, while. After we finished last night, we're around 11 o'clock. We left San Jose on our way back. And I let my students drive for 3 hours between the two of them. And then the rest of the time, I drove. We didn't get back until 4 in the morning. Okay? Why? Because then my students have enough rest to be able to help you. Okay? And so we work as a team. So I need to be honest with you. The fact that you have these people, my students, my disciples, who are at these various way places, it's by design. It's my personal choice to send them there because I know they are supposed to, they've been trained, they're supposed to raise the bar on what a Sangha is supposed to do, what a monk or nun is supposed to do at a way place. Okay? So that's what I like to do personally. I raise the bar. If I go there, it's because we're going to do more than our peers. Because I get bored. If I do the same thing as, let's say, my master's disciples, then why bother? Because, if you will, it's my personal bias is that I do not like to waste time. Okay, and so for me to do the same things that's available already, in a sense, it's a waste of time. Okay. So yes, when I was there yesterday, I chanted because I wanted to show you what I do when I have time. But for me to do that more often is unlikely. But if in the future I will do more. But I remind this gentleman in San Jose that he should be grateful. For example, last night we did a great transference in San Jose for the first time. Okay, and I assure you, if you take that video there and you put it on the internet, I challenge you to find someone who has the same level of quality of execution as these nuns who did it last night. Okay, so you should not be so greedy. My students alone, I would bet on my students first. That's how confident we are. Okay, and they keep on improving and improving. Okay, because they're still young. Yes, the girlfriend.
Amito, on the topic of chanting, I also would like to share a thought that I had last night. We did the evening ceremony and Master was there for the 4G. And in my mind, I was thinking, damn, these people were so lucky. You got Master chanting with you. We don't have that at Way Mountain Temple. Yes, you should be very, very thankful and very grateful that you have that one time, and the 4G. Master was staying so long. I was like, wow. Master would be like gone, otherwise no more time at Way Mountain. He would be doing something else so busy. Thank you.
In case you don't know, this person is, her nickname is Spy Number 2. I'm not sure what her real motives are here. But to help us expose our dirty laundry. Yes, yes, Green.
Master, hello. Master, may we request Master to do great transference as we know for us one time here?
Why not? Wait. But you'll be disappointed. Did you see how well they did? Just for the heck of it, watch our video of the Great Transference and compare it to any other Great Transference video. I challenge you. I'm floored. by the way that my disciples do it. And I look at them and say, wow, you do it so well. I don't, I can't even compete against you. You see? It takes a lot of work, a lot of preparation. Okay. For example, last night, the nun who did it, she had quite a few 10 or plus mispronunciations in Chinese, okay, which is very impressive for the first time from a Vietnamese who does not speak Chinese that fluently. You see, it shows how many hours of practice and rehearsal she had to go through, okay, it shows. Okay, so it's very, very, very impressive, and even to that, it's the quality is very high. So tonight, I can't wait for us to go into the Great Transference ourselves to see how these people are doing it here at Blue Mountain Temple. Huh? Okay. And for me to do it would take me a lot more practice time. Okay. It takes a lot of practice, by the way, for me to do it, so I like to, but I probably unlikely that's going to happen because I'm so busy. Actually, this afternoon someone asked to have us go do the funeral services for the mother who's dying, and my first reaction is, do we know them? And the answer is no. I said, then we really don't have time. We are so busy that we only need to take care of our own people, then worry about other people's, other temples' people. Okay, we're very, very busy. So unfortunately, if I take time to rehearse and practice the Great Transference, if I do that, then I have to neglect my other duties. For example, I'm so busy that I can't wait until June the 15th so that I can stop meddling into the COVID thing here in California. Okay, it takes up my time. Okay, so unlikely. I'd love to. It's unlikely. I sometimes I listen to my disciples doing the ceremony. I love it. I say, wow. It would be so cool to stand up there and just let go of everything and just follow and just do the ceremony. But unlikely, okay? Now the quality of the ceremony is so high that I'm very, very pleased. I don't really personally don't feel the need for me to do it anymore because if I were to do that, not only do I need to take time away from my normal workload, but also I'm competing against my own disciples, which is not a good thing. Go ahead, Q&A.
Master, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping us with our daughter. May I share the story right now? Just a little bit. Yes? Okay. So, when my daughter was acting out and you was helping, and right before that, I asked her to bring the walker to my mom, and she was so, during that time, she was so angry. She kicked it right, instead of bring it down, she had this obsessive OCD that if she touched anything belonged to my mom or myself, and she could grow out, and she had to go in the shower and use like a whole bottle of soap or thing like that. So, but after you help her, a few minutes after that, she was walking hold on to the walker and, Grandma, come on, walk with me. And she was helping my mom through, and she wasn't afraid of the germ and stuff like that anymore at that moment. Hello? Oh.
Technical difficulties. We lose one word
Right now?
out of 5.
So may I share it again?
Yeah, go ahead.
So pretty much with my daughter, when she was, I would say that she was possessed. I call you and say, okay, don't worry, you should take care of it. And during that time, she was acting out really bad with the walker that I asked her before I call you. Then I said, can you please give mom the walker so I can help grandma walk? And she would throw out and she would kick the walker from the second story down. She would not touch it. But right after you help her, I was so amazed that she hold on to the walker and she support my mom and hold on to the walker and walk my mom. Practice and not feeling scared or stressed at all. So, and she looks so much calmer and it's just like the house was so much peace, Master. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
We didn't quite get it, but she has a daughter who's bipolar, severe bipolar. So, particular the manic side is tends to misbehave and act up. She acts up, throws tantrums. Okay, actually, this is another pandemic that the whole world is ignoring. And because it's very, very easy to get transmitted from one person to the next, especially within your own family. It's a type of problems. They don't come to the family and one person. They come to one particular household to infect everyone. Okay. And so anyway, so the daughter has been acting up, and we had to, and it makes mistakes in that it came to my temple and acted up several times. So finally I said, enough is enough. So we beat up on it a little bit. So that these yin beings know there are some rules, there are some guidelines that they cannot just do as they wish in our way places, in our temples. Okay, so we enforce it. So that's what I've been waiting for, so that they know who we are. All right, so that's what I train my students to do as well. Same thing with the South Korea. There, they acted up as well. Okay, and you can act up in your homes, but you come to my temple, my way places, and act up. This is when I would say you have no respect for who we are and what we do. Then you will be taught a lesson. Okay. Yeah. You too, go ahead.
Tiango asks, Master, has anyone been able to enter the Buddha recitation samadhi yet since the beginning of this Fochi?
And just in just 36 hours. Boy, it would be so easy, wouldn't it? If you are able to enter this Buddha recitation samadhi after you started only 36 hours, then what's the big deal? Anyone can get rebirth to the Pure Land. So, unfortunately, I doubt it. Okay? It takes a while. But this lady here is very sharp. She's very knowledgeable, probably from the other side of the rail tracks where spies 1 and 2 came from, because she's too knowledgeable, okay, and would not identify herself in fear that her Dharma brother, her Dharma peers will recognize her. But the point here is that I don't want to focus on the gossiping. Yeah. When we do these things, it's for you. It's not about who cares if someone else enters the Buddha recitation samadhi. It's called gossiping. Big deal. If you could have some success in your practice, okay, I'm happy for you. But it's not something you want to brag about, okay? If you make some progress, great, okay? And share it only if it's helpful to others. Don't share it because you want to promote yourself, okay? So that's why in our temples, a lot of people make progress, but they would communicate with me, and they don't go around tell people, you know, I made progress and so forth. To the point where I occasionally have to point out that some people make progress, so that to encourage them and to reward them, okay, and to help their make further progress more quickly. So the answer to your question is that none of your business. Anyone else? This is what's a big deal? If someone else is able to enter this recitation samadhi, so what? What's in it for you? You keep on talking and talking and talking. All of this is designed to help you, yourself. If someone else gets a benefit, so much better. But it's about you. How are you going to benefit from it? Okay? The same thing. My attitude is the same thing. My personal attitude is that, yes, I love and I worship my Chinese master. But I'm very happy. He's very high, very advanced. But I look for myself and say, how do I get up there? That's my interest. Why am I doing this? Okay? He's what he has, But how do I get it? Right? And that's what matters to us, most of us. Okay? How do I make it mine? Okay? How do I go to the Pure Land myself? If someone else can go to the Pure Land, boy, that's nice for them. But what really matters to me is me. I go there myself. Okay? Nor do I go there. Okay? The one thing I would help you, okay, is, for example, this particular Pure Land practice is very special Buddhist practice, where unlike most other Buddhist practices, this Pure Land practice here is designed to help you plan for your future lives. Okay? This is the kind of information that's not available in the worldly store of information. We don't know much about death and what happens after death. Okay? That happens to be the strength of Buddhism, of Mahayana in particular. Mahayana has such detailed information about the migration. After you die, what happens, and then you go to change bodies, basically. Okay? And for most of us, most of you, will come back to this wheel of reincarnation, okay, in a different body, okay, and continue this madness, continue this suffering that we have to endure. We are all here to endure the suffering, to pay off our debts. That's the way it is. What kind of debts? It's the same that we owe to our banks for the mortgage, the car payments. You owe to your parent, to your mother. You know, she will not let go of you because she says, you know, wait until after I die, then you shave your head. Or you do something else. Wait after I die for you to get married. Okay? Because I don't want to share my love, your love for me with another woman. That kind of thing. So you owe them. That's why we're here. We're here to pay our debts. Okay? But it's more than that to life than just paying off our debts. How about being here to do something good with our lives? That's part of the Buddha recitation. You recite, become develop mental strength, improve your health in order for you to be able to do more goodness with your lives, more meaningful things with your lives. Okay? And furthermore, look even further. In Buddhism, we also plan for you, help you plan for your future lives. Because right now, all you know is that that's maximize what we got right now, and after we die, who knows? Okay, we don't know anything about that. So the Pure Land Dharma door here helps you go to the Pure Land where you will never suffer again. Okay, that's the beauty of that. If you believe in that, may not be urgent for you, but for you South Koreans, your population is getting old. Over 50% of their people are over 60 years old. Okay? Don't have much time left. When are you going to start taking your next body, the next life more seriously? Stop being a victim. Because if you don't pay attention, okay, by the time you die, you will cycle back into this real reincarnation in different body. Okay, that's all that's going to happen. And we've been doing that for so long now that you're so conditioned to it, you're so used to it. Okay, and this Pure Land Dharma door here is to remind you that you have to take that seriously. You have to get out of this madness, this vicious cycle of reincarnations. Okay, and the best way is to go to the Pure Land yourself. Okay. And if you care for your parents, then help them get there too. Okay, you care for your grandparents, help them go there as well. You care for the baby that you lost through miscarriage, help your baby get there too. You care for your child you had to abort because you could not afford to have a child back then in the past. Now you can do something about it yourselves. That's real right there. And that's what this is about. It's not about someone else entering the Buddha recitation samadhi. It's about how you can benefit, how your son, your spouse, your family, the people you care for can also benefit from this Buddhist wisdom. If you care. You don't, it's no problem. Be that way. Okay? It's personal choice. Okay, anything else? All right, then why don't we stop here and continue tomorrow night? But let's do the great transference. I can't wait because I want to see how they do it here. Okay, thank you all.